Back here on Busted Open, Dave LaGreca, Mark Henry, and Mark. We're so pleased to be joined by two WWE superstars that, who knows, could steal the show and steal something else. Maybe even our hearts.
Our hearts.
On Sunday at the Barclays Center. And of course, it's Andrade, Cien, Almas, and Zelina Vega in the house.
Hello, it's so good to be here.
It is. It's exciting to see you and everything that's happened with you in all this time since the last time we spoke to you.
Yeah, how long has it been?
It's been a while.
It's been too long.
It's been too long.
Like years, I want to say.
It's probably been a couple of years. There's no doubt. It's unbelievable. She forgot about me.
Oh, is that what happened?
She forgot about me, Mark.
Wow.
Is that what happened?
You didn't put it down right.
No, it's honest to God. I think, and Mark is going to say this too. We're just extremely proud of everything that you've been able to accomplish.
Thank you.
You know, especially with NXT and now on the main roster with the WWE on SmackDown, and of course what's going to take place at SummerSlam. You're a part. They both are a big part of what's going to take place Sunday at SummerSlam.
It's insane, actually, because I'm just looking at how things were last year, and it was my first pay-per-view with NXT, and it was at the Barclays Center. And I remember, was it 5 years ago is when I met Dwayne Johnson at the Barclays Center, and I was still like doing extra work back then, and now to be with Andrade doing SummerSlam is just, it's insane. We were doing NXT, we did TakeOver last year, and now here we are.
Here you are at the top of the game. Like it's very good to see you in action because you embody your Latin culture, and you just exude that energy. You know. There's no dancing, but everybody else in their mind, they're seeing it. Like that, the flowers and the.
Thank you.
You know, I love that about your spirit when it comes to the industry.
Thank you so much. I mean, I think we've had tons of conversations like that where I've loved it since I was a kid. I knew since 4 years old that this is what I wanted to do. So it's amazing to actually say I'm here and I have the best partner in the world, and I'm so thankful for him because. In and outside of the ring, he's been definitely helpful and a very big inspiration to me. And
Andrade has been fantastic with NXT and has really made a mark, as part of the roster on SmackDown.
No, thank you so much.
I think together, Zelina is right. They are an excellent pairing, Mark.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got the superpowers. You remember? Okay, I'm going real old school. Y'all won't remember this, but Dave will. You remember the Wonder Twins?
Of course, I remember the Wonder Twins.
Listen, this is the new Wonder Twins.
They could become a polar bear and water.
Yes,
or ice cubes.
Imminent objects or something that's an animal. I mean, just anything. So, okay, I digress. Your talent in the ring is not just like a lucha style. You also use a lot of psychology. What is the thing about your actions in the ring that you like the most? That your attributes that you have more pride in?
This is my dream. I always prepared for many years. I'm from Mexico. For a long time, lucha libre, and go to Japan for New Japan. Now in WWE, I'm preparing NXT. This is my dream. This is my life.
I can see it. I can see you, the lucha style, but I also can see. We talked about the pacing and the timing and the balance in a match, and you can see that in your style. And I guess. You say you learned that in Japan. The Japanese culture is very very good with balance, and they want things to make sense. And you embody that. Your matches have been really strong in the last year. And what is the next steps? What do you want to be a champion at some point? You want to start going for the titles, vying for the titles, or are you comfortable right now with being one of the best entertainers in the business?
I think I'm going to cut you off really quick because honestly, I feel like I've known him for around 7 years now? Yes. Something about that, like 7 years or so. And I knew, even just coming to NXT, like I knew what he can do, and I wasn't happy with where he was at. I was like, no, he can be a million times better. Like, you guys are just scratching the surface of what he really is. And I felt like once we, like, he just opened himself up to, you know, the things that I was saying, like, we can definitely do this. Let's really grab the brass ring and let's do this. And I feel like now, especially like after NXT and people saw he is championship material, he is everything that we say we are. And now for SmackDown, it's really like the next step is showing everybody like we did in NXT who he is and what he can do. And absolutely, I don't think we're ever going to be complacent. We're never going to be satisfied with just being one thing. The next step is definitely making him a champion that he truly is.
Yeah, championship culture is what you want. And I tell guys all the time that are right there, like, sometimes you have to speak up and say, I can do this, trust me.
Absolutely. And
once you do that, you open yourself up for about 10, 15 more shows a month. Because you have to make all the appearances. This is every week, twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. So be ready. When you make that call and say, hey, put it on me, they will, but this comes with it. So I love the fact that when I talked to you about a year ago, your English was not as good, and now is so much better. And I would hope that, you know, you would keep on working on the English, because in America, there's a lot of talent that come in and go from non-speaking to speaking perfect English, and it benefits. There's a lot of benefits to it.
Yes, understand. I have good teacher.
Awesome.
But see, that's the thing. Like, I feel like we balance each other out a lot, and part of that is him helping me with my Spanish, and you know, I'm helping him with English. And it's, again, we're such like yin to the yang, I guess. You know, like I feel like sometimes I can be the little devil on his shoulder telling him certain things, but overall, like, he's one of the hardest workers I've ever met. And when it comes to, you know, you saying being a champion, whether that's doing these media days or waking up early and go to the, I am not even joking. He will wake up in the morning and do empty stomach cardio. He'll eat, and then he'll go back to the gym and work out. Then he'll go to the arena and have, you know, 10 to 15 minute matches, even longer sometimes, and then go back to the hotel and do cardio again. He is just so in love with the business. And when he's your 3rd generation, correct?
Yes.
Is your grandfather, your father. So he's lived this all his life, and now it's just I see it every day. And some people don't see him working as hard, but it's the things that you do in silence that really speaks volumes.
In between,
absolutely,
the in between time, and it's the same thing with acting. Like, what you do in between is what signifies you and what makes people look at you. And I see that in the matches. There's so many things that you do instinctively. That I should have known that you were 3rd generation, because it shows.
Oh yes, thank you.
Now we have to fast forward.
I'm a fan.
I know it. We're both fans.
Thank you.
We have to fast forward to Sunday, of course, at the Barclays Summerslam. You can see that on the WWE Network. And, of course, your match with Rusev and Lana is going to be a part of the kickoff show that's happening that you can see exclusively on the WWE Network. Talk about this feud that's been going on now with Rusev and Lana.
I mean, where can we really start, Dave? You know, like, they were at the top at one point, and that's fine. But that's also because we weren't there yet. You know, so now it's really showing them and showing the WWE Universe what we have to offer, and to show them that we are an unstoppable force. And when it comes to Rusev and Lana, you know, I can, just like Lana, we can be the managers at some point and take care of business, but we can also take care of business in the ring. And I couldn't be the type of manager I am without having something up my sleeve, especially being the manager of someone of his caliber, you know? So it really comes down to, okay, you guys are good. I've seen what you guys can do, but you guys haven't seen what we can do yet. So it's more so getting them prepared and showing them that they're not really ready for us.
Well, I'm sitting here now looking at one of the videos of Almas's matches, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of what we see against Lana and Rusev.
Mhm.
I love to see applied science. I like to see people put the action to work, and we've been waiting so long that it is time to get it on. I mean, we got 2 more days. And,
That's it.
and it's on. And I'm so I wish Lana would put her nose where it don't belong. So.
She has a few times. I've seen the videos that she puts on Instagram and Twitter, and now it's just okay. Let's
Personal attacks.
Yeah, but I've shot them right back. So I mean, I'm like, you can't. I don't have a cap. I don't have a cap. So if you're gonna try and come at me, I'm gonna give it back, and I'm gonna give it back to you 20 times harder.
I'm ready.
Now, obviously, if Lana and Rusev were in studio, I would say something completely different. But I really think that they're the favorites to win.
Yeah,
on Sunday.
I would say.
If you ask me.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't. Listen, if Rusev and Lana were here, there would be no disguising the fact that I think that they are going to be battling from the bottom. Like cream rises to the top.
That's right. This is definitely the cream. And you know what? You saying that cream rises to the top, it brings it back, Zelina, to like all the work that you've done to get to this point. And I got a chance to ask Triple H a question right after NXT TakeOver in New Orleans, and I asked about you, and I asked about the work that you were doing with NXT and your maturity, and I wondered when you were going to make that jump to the main roster. And soon after that, there you were on SmackDown. Did you feel like when you were
Thanks,
a part
Dave.
of...
You did that.
I mean, I pick my spots.
Yeah.
If I'm going to have the opportunity to speak to... Hello. If I'm going to have the spot to speak to Triple H, of course I'm going to bring up, Zelina. That's a no-brainer.
Very much appreciated.
You're welcome, Mark. You're welcome.
Thank you.
But did you feel like, when, in all honesty, and listen, this is all because of your hard work. It's just kind of like a 2-part question.
Mm-hmm.
One, did you feel like you were ever going to get to this point? Because I know there's been a lot of peaks and valleys. And 2, did you feel the support when you were a part of the NXT brand?
Oh, wow. I mean, I'll start with that. This has been such a long journey. I mean, I've wanted this since I was 4 years old, and I started when I was 17, and it took me my first tryout with WWE was in 2010. And to finally be here now, I mean, there's been times where I thought, this isn't going to happen, but I think the reason why I started was really the driving force, and I couldn't give up, because I was doing this for myself, and I was doing this for my dad, the memory of my father, and he wanted to be a wrestler at one point, and it's really I couldn't let that go. I couldn't stop. Did I ever think it was gonna get to this point where I was gonna have like an Andrade by my side? No, I don't think so. I think you want it and you wish it's gonna happen, but you never know for sure if it's actually gonna come to fruition. And now I'm still amazed, and NXT was the best thing that happened to me. It was amazing to be a part of such a family. When they talk about being a part of that family, you really, really are. And I mean, I looked at Triple H, and when you brought that up, I'm like, that's insane, because I've been a huge fan of Triple H since I was a kid, and to look at him as almost like a father figure is really amazing. And I just talking about this, we're going to SummerSlam. We're really going to SummerSlam. Like that's insane to me. So yeah, and oddly enough, like I said, I had met Dwayne about 5 years ago at the Barclays Center, and he had just finished a segment with Rusev and Lana, and now we are taking on Rusev and Lana at SummerSlam. I feel like that's such a crazy circle.
Full circle.
Yeah. So.
By the way, Zelina says Andrade so much better than we do.
Yes, she does.
You noticed that?
Yeah.
I did hear you trip up a second.
I did.
When you tried it.
Okay, so it's sweeping the nation. The pose.
Yes, the pose.
You see on Twitter and Instagram, kids, moms, dads, uncles, friends doing the pose.
Cats and dogs.
Oh, together.
Together. How did that come about?
Well, you've been doing the Tranquila pose for how many years?
I think 12 years or more.
Yeah, about 12 years. So with that, I looked at it and I was like, I think this can be such a powerful thing. And I was like, this can be the new planking. I saw it. I was like, this can be the new thing. And one day it was in Japan. I was like, you know what? It'd be really cool if I just did it below him. So we had talked about it, and he was like, yeah. Let's just do it. Let's just see what happens. And from there, it evolved into something that we didn't even imagine possible. It was literally just, let's just try this, and let's stick it to Ty a little harder. To we're getting this in where is it? China, Japan. We've seen it all over. Yeah.
Well, when I get to the arena, I'm going to go and make the pose, and I'm going to post it.
All right.
Yeah.
If I don't get in trouble for gimmick infringement, I just want permission.
What do you think? Good?
That's great.
Yes. Awesome. But I enjoy that. I love the fact that you see such a range of people doing the pose, from little kids to grandparents. Like, that's amazing. And to be able to say, man, I made an impact on the industry and something that's going to live forever. Like, you're making history, and I hope you're enjoying the journey.
Thank you. I think more than anything, he has become such a part of me. I remember when I first was going to have my match with Lana, I was like, wait, my entrance, it's alone? Like, without him? What do you mean? But we ended up doing it together. But he's become such a part of me, and he's helped me in the ring. He's helped me with, we talked about psychology and picking your spots and making things make sense. And especially for my size, I thought at some points, well, I can't do any power moves. How can I do this? And he instantly comes up with, okay, let's try this. Let's use this to your advantage. Let's not look at it as a disadvantage. Let's look at it as an advantage. And how can we use it against people? They're gonna look at you and think less. Let's use that against them.
Sometimes speed and aggressiveness makes up for the size difference.
Yes.
And I watch your style, and you do a lot of hitting the ropes and drop kicks and hitting the ropes and springboards and different things. Like, what made you want to do those things? Like, rather than being more of a grappler or being more of a striker or being a technical wrestler, like, what gave you that speed thing?
That was more of a Rey Mysterio thing. When I first started watching wrestling, so Halloween Havoc 97, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio is like one of my favorite matches. And I remember watching Ray and thinking, okay, if he can do it, I can absolutely do it. He became, the world champion at one point. So it was really, okay, let's see how he does it. How does he use his size to his advantage? He uses his speed. Okay. And there's some things that, we've been working on that we're going to bust out for Summerslam.
Oh, now I see the wheels turning. We got some new moves coming out.
Yeah. So, like I said,
we don't have to talk about it. I'm listen. Dave and I, and Alex, we're all going to be real close.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think we're going to have seats. I think that
we're
just going to give us a pass. We're going to be standing by the curtain.
Yeah.
But we're going to be there. We're going to be there. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. Y'all are one of my favorites.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing y'all get in the ring, because I know it's going to be aggressive.
Yes. And
that kind of strikes me as much as anything. I love the intensity and the aggressive nature that y'all wrestle in, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you are like a true team. And what was it like for both of you when you got that word that you were moving over to the main roster and you're moving over to SmackDown?
Well, I cried. As soon as I knew, I cried. And he was like, okay, when?
It's time. I'm ready.
Yeah.
He was like, it's about time.
I've been preparing for this since I was 2.
Literally, he's been in there. When did you first step into the ring? How old?
I don't know, baby.
A baby? Basically.
Wow.
And so, like, right away, like, we hear the news and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And he's like, okay, when? Let's go. I'm ready. Like, when? And it was just such a funny dynamic, but I feel like we are probably more on the same page now than we've ever been. And I feel like you can see it in some of these matches, whether it's, the last one with Johnny, and Candace and that whole craziness that became. And then, or even going back to Drew, or Alistair, it got better and better. And I feel like we just completely like opened each other up to like really taking this on, and like I said, come SummerSlam, oh, you guys have no idea what we have planned.
You know what? Like, one of the things that I noticed too is you always wear that icy white, and nobody wears white anymore. And I know it's hard to keep clean, but it looks so good in the ring. Like, why white?
Well,
Was it a family thing?
This looks good.
I like white. I don't know.
I think too, like when I see his gear, I'm like, okay, I think we can match. Like, let's see how we can make it, and now whether it was the black and gold or whatever, I see him wearing, especially the white, like you said, the white was really what caught me. And I'm like, we're going to match. We're going to make sure we match every time. So yeah. So, I had gotten black gear to match him. I've had the black and gold or the white. So we're definitely going to be matching a lot more often. And come SummerSlam, we'll see. We have something really nice picked out.
All right.
These are the reasons why you have to get the WWE Network subscribed just to see this.
Dave, you see the group of guys that just came. Like,
course.
we never have guys come by and just look in the window. Like, now we got Zelina and the guys are like coming and hanging out and watching. Wow. Look at you.
No, they're going to have to go through this one first. So.
See?
Yeah, they might want to keep
tough.
it moving.
Well, I'm the same way. Like, there's tons of little sucias that like to come around him all the time, and I'm like, no. He's got to stay focused. We got SummerSlam coming up. No.
Well, I noticed, Gabby, our technical engineer, was looking, and that's a problem.
Are you trying to sick
that
me
could
on
be
her?
a problem. Zelina, I'm just saying, she's a good board up. I hate to lose her, but I'm just letting you know, Zelina, it could be an issue. That's all. You mentioned about Barclays, and of course, like you talked about The Rock and Dwayne Johnson and what this building has meant to you, but also talk about having this venue, SummerSlam. It's without a doubt the biggest event of your career.
Yes.
But being here in New York City, your home, New York,
my hometown. I think that's also really crazy that this is happening all in my hometown, and a place that I used to go watch wrestling with my dad, and that really above anything means the most to me. And even yesterday, I flew in and I went straight to my grandmother's house, and we
got your hair.
We did my hair in the sink.
Me and Dave was like, that's so old school.
Yeah. I didn't go to no hair salon. I went to my grandmother's house. We did my hair in the sink. We had, some platanos on the counter. We had some it was just so nice. We had some Spanish music on. My grandmother's dancing and eating ice cream. Like, it was just such a nice thing for me. It was really good for my soul. So that also helps me mentally, prepare
stay
for something like
grounded. I would
this.
think too.
Absolutely.
What's been the biggest change now that you're a part of SmackDown for both of you? Like, what's the biggest change? I'm sure you get people recognize you a heck of a lot more now that you're on SmackDown. I mean, what have been the biggest changes?
I mean, biggest changes as far as from NXT to SmackDown, or just from before getting to WWE?
Before.
Oh, everything. Getting recognized, getting just, especially now, we get to get some nicer outfits. That's always a good thing. But no, it's being able to be put on a platform to really show who we are and how hard we've worked. And as far as changing, we haven't changed as performers, as people. We've grown as performers, but as people, we haven't really changed. It's just the platform to show, okay, this is what we're about, and this is what we're going to bring to the table.
I can't wait for Sunday.
Man.
Andrade, Almas, and Zelina Vega going up against Lana and Rusev.
Yeah, my two favorite weekends: WrestleMania weekend, SummerSlam
and
weekend.
and really SummerSlam weekend has really become almost just like WrestleMania with all the community service and all the media. It's really become that. And of course, if you want to see this match, you're going to have to subscribe to the WWE Network and watch it. Again, live from Barclays, SummerSlam coming up this Sunday. It's been awesome having you guys in. And Zelina, I got to be honest, and no offense, Andrade, I mean, you've been fantastic.
Can you try rolling your R just one time?
I can't roll my R's. I can't roll my R's.
Come on.
I can't. You know how many times I've tried?
Oh, nice.
No, I can't roll my R's. I can't do
Can you
it.
just try it for me?
Oh, for you, Zelina, I'd try just about anything.
No cry.
For me, I'll cry.
Show me how it's done.
Andrade.
Andrade.
It's good. It's great.
No, it's not.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
Right.
Don't let him.
Better.
Come on, one more time, Dave. Rrr.
Okay, Zelina, show me one more time how to do it.
Andrade.
I can't.
I wish y'all could see this.
Andrade.
Dave pulled
Yes.
his jaw back like somehow, I don't know. Like a
beautiful.
velociraptor.
I love it.
Zelina, it's been good having you back on Busted Open.
Thank
It's really
you.
been a pleasure. You guys are great. I hope you kill it on Sunday, and it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And it's not going to be Rusev Day or Lana Day. It's going to be.
It's going to be Zelina and Andrade. Andrade.
There we go.
Andrade Day. Andrade Day.